How do you like your roast potatoes? I like mine cut a little bit smaller with lots of crispy edges and a fluffy inside. I love the addition of herbs and they need to be seasoned really well. Nothing worse than a bland potato. I thought in today's video I'd give you a masterclass of how to make the perfect roast potato. I'm using two varieties, the Maris Piper and the King Edward. I'm going to roast these in a couple of different ways. The Maris Piper I'm simply going to cut down and roast in some olive oil with some rock salt. And the King Edward I'm going to roast off in goose fat and I'm going to add some nice rosemary and thyme. Remember to like this video and subscribe if you like my channel. And now for those roast potatoes. Let's get into it. Perfect roast potatoes are easy to do at home, and it makes me laugh when I see people buy them in the supermarket as they're going to be more expensive and nowhere near as good flavour. First step, as you would imagine, is peeling these little fellows until you've got the amount you want. Now the next step is really important, as you want to increase your surface area as much as possible on the potato to get these crispy and delicious. Basically, the more flat edges you've got exposed, the better. That's why I like cutting them a tad smaller. My first batch I'm going to leave them slightly larger than I usually would for a bit of comparison. These King Edwards I'm going to roast off in goose fat. This is some I had left over from last Christmas. It's perfectly fine to use still. I'll pop this into my tin and then place the tin in the oven. Ideally you want your fat to get really nice and hot, so you need to leave your tin in the oven for at least 15 minutes. After the spuds have cooked off a little bit and your knife can go through them, drain them and let the moisture evaporate off for around 10 minutes or so. Note, I'm using my spoon to place in the colander. This variety of potato cooks quicker and I found it to be a little bit more floury, so I'm handling them with care. Final step will be adding these spuds to my hot goose fat. I'll make sure they're well coated, and it's amazing how much fat they instantly absorb into the potatoes. I'm now going to crack on with my Maris Pipers. In the UK I think this is people's preferred choice, and it's certainly a robust potato that delivers some flavour. I'm going to prepare these in the same way, except this time I'm going to cut them a little bit smaller. My roasting tin I'll prepare by adding a good few tablespoons of olive oil. I do love using olive oil as well, and it gives a cleaner taste at the end, and of course it's vegan friendly. Once these Maris Pipers have parboiled and left to drain, they can be added to the hot olive oil. And when you add those potatoes, you really want to be hearing that sizzle. That way you know the oil's hot enough. Like before, I use 2 spoons to flip and move the potatoes around so each side gets a really good coating of oil. This is a really important step, so be sure not to miss it. I'll add a touch of light seasoning as well, as they can go into the oven. Now for my goose fat potatoes, I'm crushing a few garlic cloves and add them in. I didn't put them in at the start, as even at 190 degrees Celsius they could pick up a bit too much colour and burn. I love pan roasted garlic though. You should definitely give this a go if you haven't already. These potatoes will be cooking for around an hour and 15 minutes, so 20 minutes before they're ready, I'm going to take them out of the oven and add some freshly chopped rosemary and some dried thyme. These Maris Pipers have had their cooking time. I've been turning them every 20 minutes or so they colour evenly. If you want a bit more colour, then you can turn your oven up, but I genuinely think 190 degrees Celsius is the perfect temperature for cooking roast potatoes. Finish these off with some crushed rock salt. And there you have it, beautiful roast potatoes done 2 different ways with 2 different types of potato. The classic Maris Piper with olive oil and rock salt, and the King Edward with goose fat, garlic and herbs. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you got something out of this video. See you next week.